Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. Today we are looking at Glitch Text Season 1, Episode 6, Alpha Leader. As is par for the course, it is entertaining, disturbing on several meta levels that the show writers may or may not have intended, and I despise it with a passion. We'll get to why I despise this one particular episode in a bit. First, let's address the creepy meta level timing of the release of this episode. First, let's establish that this show has been in the works for years. When this episode was written and animated is anyone's guess, really. However, it was released on February 21st, 2020 in the US. That is 2 weeks almost to the day after the first known American death from COVID-19, and just when the reality of the situation kicked in for most of the population, including the image of how they test for flu viruses by shoving the cotton swab way the heck up your sinus cavity. Well, Mitch, the alpha braggart of the glitch text, catches a glitch nanovirus and needs to be tested, and the friendly helper bot shoves a sensor way the heck up his sinus cavity before confirming that he has the virus and locking him down in quarantine. Granted, February is flu season for most of the northern hemisphere, so it is entirely possible that this influenced the release dates of this episode. The effect was certainly to enhance the creepy dual nature of this world with real-world cross-references. The current situation just made it creepier, and it goes to show how good research, sticking as close to reality as possible, can make and add levels of effect to your story. Someone on the creative team took the time to research how a doctor tests for the flu, and keeping the scene medically accurate made the hair stand up on the back of my neck when I watched this scene. Now, I liked that part. That was well done. I liked that part. Why did watching this episode make me writhe with discomfort? Seriously, folks, I only made myself watch this one because I love you and would never lie to you by pretending to have watched an episode in its entirety and giving a false and misleading review. Why do I hate this episode? Because, my dear viewers, and this is a deep, dark secret, so don't tell anyone, just between you and me, I am a highly specialized emotional wimp. As I have noted in previous episodes, the main plots of this show are beyond cookie cutter. They are only marginally more diverse than the 7 original stories themselves. The genius that makes the show worth watching is in the details and the creepy dual reality. This is the episode where pride goeth before a humiliating fall. Our erstwhile hero Fives tries to be something he isn't, and the majority of the show is the story showing the building humiliation of this until he finally admits his error. Each beat of pompousness and arrogance is physically painful to me. I have to say this is the most well-done episode of this sort that I have ever seen. Everyone is perfectly in character. The episode incorporates all of Five's virtues and faults into the story line neatly. He is making a fool of himself, but this is the Fives we know and love making a fool of himself. I honestly don't know if the quality of the writing makes the grinding emotional trauma better or worse. I won't bother with the plot, suffice it to say that they face a glitch. The disturbing thing we learn from this particular glitch is that glitches can act with remarkable intelligence and forethought. They can plan, they can learn, they can react to the team they are facing with skill and flexibility. Even corrupted, the AIs are fairly advanced. While Fives does have his obligatory character growth this episode, it is Mitch that we learn the most about. The episode brilliantly and effortlessly humanizes him through a series of small gestures. None of these revelations is earth-shaking in of themselves, but they add up to a complex character. Mitch, for instance, has 0 personal grudges against Five left over from the first season, at least none that he remembers. Mitch trusts his team. Mitch's team have been first on the leaderboards for 4 weeks. As arrogant as he is, Mitch is a team player. He cares more for keeping his team ahead than personally staying ahead himself. When it comes right down to it, he gives Fives the best advice he can and even offers Fives access to his own personal supply so that Fives can do the best for the team. This has hilariously negative consequences, but Mitch's goals were honest and his motivations were pure. He wanted to make Fives look as good as possible so that the team trusted Fives and functioned as well as possible. The fact that Fives didn't understand the nuances of the instructions that he gave him simply means that Mitch is a bad teacher, not a bad person. In fact, Mitch is the functional embodiment of the concept that a character or a person does not have to be a nice person to be a good person. One thing you learn from veterans is that soldiers often treat each other with near abusive levels of rudeness in the barracks, but on the battlefield, the soldier who hates you the most will still take a bullet to the face for you. That's the kind of vibe that Mitch gives off in this episode, and it's well written in. It's not surprising or shocking. This is kind of what you would expect from his character so far. And speaking of Mitch, his few moments on screen really do a lot to forward the background plot of this Matrix-like reality. He fearlessly steps into the spray of the defeated Cthulhu glitch and lets it get its scoop all over him, and promptly catches a nanovirus from it. Now, if you are caught up in the beat of the story and don't think too hard about Mitch's character, this doesn't seem like much of a problem, but it really is quite a big one. Mitch is not careless of his own personal health. He is pretty near fearless in battle, but it is a calculated fearlessness of somebody who knows he has backup and who knows he's going to come out on top. He is willing to take exactly as much risk as achieving his goals requires, and no more. He didn't know what level of danger letting the goop cover him posed is really the only conclusion you can come to. However, Mitch is supposed to be the most experienced glitch tech in the field. He is clearly coded to appear physically as the oldest, which is very odd once you begin to think about it, because the boss and the mysterious not-a-park ranger former glitch tech Barbara are much older than the children who serve as glitch techs. There is a massive age gap between Mitch and the boss, an age gap that should be filled with aging glitch techs. And interestingly, Mitch says that his team has been first on the leaderboard for 4 weeks. That's a long time to maintain what is essentially Employee of the Month status, but Mitch was the reigning champion of not one but 2 Hinobi tournaments when the series started. Presumably, he won his job in the first tournament, like Miko and Fives, and defended his championship in the second, and then combated Miko and Fives in the third. Now, common practice, and the big deal Fives and Miko made about it, make us assume that this is a yearly tournament. However, when this tournament goes wrong, the boss is fairly calm about using the mind wipe over the local television network. Like he has done something like that before, like it's habit with him. Everybody look at the screen if they want a t-shirt, and then he wipes their brains. Hardcore fans like Miko and Fives would have been watching the screen the last time, or maybe they participated in previous tournaments. Maybe the other tournaments have happened and they just don't remember. Or maybe they even participated in previous tournaments. Maybe they just don't remember. That would explain why Mitch, the oldest and most skilled tech, has only been top dog for 4 weeks. The question then becomes, what became of the older techs? Where are they? We have seen Barbara. At least some of these techs go on to become inspectors for Hinobi. However, those kinds of promotions only account for a small portion of any company or organization. Perhaps these glitch techs retire. It is a very intense job requiring a lot of movement. They might have to be mind wiped before they go. However, there is the mystery of Fives' dad and the mysterious entity observing Fives and Miko. If the way to get rid of techs was to mind wipe them, it would make sense for Fives' dad to still be in the picture. But Fives' dad, who probably worked for Hinobi, just disappeared. If the concept is that they are mind-wiped and retired, dear old dad should still be around. That he's not around suggests something darker. Well, that he's not around and that the show made a point of it. There are several other items that point to Mitch being fairly new to his job. In the scene where he mind-wipes the drive-thru attendant, he does it at first because he flubbed what he was going to say. Both the flub and the urge to cover up the flub are signs of inexperience. He was utterly flabbergasted that the mind wipe didn't work on Miko, as the show clearly seemed to actively laugh at the concept that she was the one, resistant one, and Fives did get his memory back, suggests that Mitch simply hasn't been around long enough to witness this common failure in the technology. When we see Mitch call in the very first glitch of the series, the boss reminds him of the protocol, and Mitch responds in a very immature manner, something only a noob would really do. Then there is the glaring fact that Mitch was ignorant that the virus posed a threat to his life. That, my wonderful viewers, is a massive red flag. The viral particles should have disassociated with the rest of the glitch when it was captured. These glitches are supposed to be just corrupted programs. There's no reason for them at all to contain actual hard light holographic viral particles. There's no way they should have been able to infect Mitch. Not with his biological cells. However, they did. Not making Mitch sick might have been a matter of... making Mitch sick might have been a simple matter of toxicity. Poison, essentially. However, the Hinobi slapped him in quarantine. meaning that they know that virus is human transmissible. That computer-based virus had hijacked mixed human cells and was forcing them to reproduce more viruses. That makes absolutely zero sense within the established logic of the show. Unless Mitch or his cells aren't human. That weird Matrix feel of the show, the odd sense of confinement, Mitch being able to restructure reality but not able to permanently delete memories. The fact that no one in the town of Bailey seems to question the glitches. It is really beginning to look like the town isn't all that real. That is at some level games mapped over reality. Is the reason that no one ever leaves the town by that mysterious bridge that there are walls with no skins there? Is the reason that entire theme park is abandoned that there simply aren't enough children to fill it in this artificial town? So, what do you think? Leave a like if you agree and leave a comment smashing my analysis like a roach glitch if you disagree. Check out my Teespring channel for some weird human merch. Share this video if you want to see more. Remember, clicks give me boosts. And peace out, my wonderful viewers.